When you start the deconstruction, reconstruction process, be very careful of the tentacles of the dogmas you follow, whether it was Christianity, Islam, Buddhism. If you decide to deconstruct from those programming, be mindful of the tentacles. You're not going to possibly hang out with the same people anymore. You're not going to be participating in the same activities anymore. And therefore, you may feel isolated. So just be mindful of those moments and see it as an opportunity to reconstruct yourself to do exactly what you want to do. And you don't have the guilt. You don't have this pull. Because if you allow that pull to pull you back into religion, back into a cult, back into whatever you had, the process and the amount of time and efforts and so forth to deconstruct yourself, you can easily be manipulated and deceived to return, because it's similar to being a free slave. Once the slaves are free and they do everything in their power to escape, but then some lures of it can pull them back, and that's how strong indoctrination is. So just be mindful of yourself. Realize you may be isolated. You may be alone. Not lonely, but alone. But that is a perfect opportunity to reconstruct yourself in the image that you prefer. You don't have these roles. You don't have these deceptions and manipulations about, being, and it's so annoying to me when people say I'm highly favored, I'm chosen, I'm blessed, because when they say that stuff, they're saying you're not. That's basically what they're saying. You're not, but I'm highly favored. They're so self-righteous. And so you have to just be mindful of that. Acknowledge that. Remember, be silent about it. No one needs to know you're deconstructing. Keep that private, because that helps to avoid all these tentacles of, whether it's religion, whether it's cults, whether it's a homeowners association, whether it's politics, and dictatorship. All of that is all, it's all in that web, tentacles of how you can get yourself, kind of go, making lateral moves from one to the other. So be kind and gentle with yourself again. Ground yourself. Find out what your modalities are. Are you auditory? Are you feeler, visual, visionary? And along with others, and just be mindful how difficult it is. But I think if you recognize what is going on, to be quiet about it. Sure, you can conversate with people online, conversate with people in person, but you're not sharing your deepest, most valuable responsibilities and accountabilities. You're doing that on your own. You're being silent, gentle, and kind. I thought it was a great process. I'm telling you, I thought it was a great process, and I still do. I'm constantly redeveloping myself, and it's a beautiful activity, But of course, it's going to have some sadness. It's going to have some disappointment. All of those other factors are going to be considered, and they're going to be a part of the equation. Because I told you those tentacles are strong, because it's all energy. So you don't know that you're being affected by criminal negative energy. So be kind and gentle with yourself. Be kind and gentle with others. Don't argue with people online. That's a trap. Going back and forth with people online. Some people are doing that, and that's fine. But know who you are, and ask yourself, do I need to do that? I met so many people that are going back and forth with people online, and it's like I'm saying to myself, why are you doing that? And just ask yourself, what's the benefit? Now, if you're doing a public service, that's something different. But to be going back and forth just to win an argument or just to be right, okay, just question that. Who, what, when, where, why, how, what if. Just question why you're doing that. So again, the deconstruction process is just the beginning. Do not become complacent. Do not become delusional, because yes, you're going to feel a burst of freedom once you denounce all of this stuff. But again, you still got to build up properly. You got to develop yourself properly, and that can take years. It can take decades. Just think about how long you had been indoctrinated, and then you somehow got yourself out of it. You snapped out of it and got a grip. It can take decades. So, but it's worth it. The freedom I have is permanent now. The permanent happiness is permanent now. I earned that. No one can touch it. No one can touch it. So consider the benefits of it all. And reach out to others that you admire. Reach out to people that you are feeling a connection. Your sounds and tones are registering together. And, you like the sound of my voice. You like the sound of this other person's voice. But you don't feel like someone's pressuring you. You don't feel like someone's attempting to manipulate and deceive you. So just get ready for it. It is worth it. Universal love was always inclusive. We divided it, turned it into commodities. But we will reverse it, and we will return back to universal love. Today is, Sunday, January the 4th, 2026. I want to keep track of all of this because, things are happening. Things are happening. Talk to you soon.